the second day of spring, but we're seeing cool temperatures in the southeast and the plains and cloudy, windy weather in the Ohio Valley. But the biggest story is what's taking place in the northeast this morning. Good morning. I'm Bruce Edwards.
And I'm Cheryl Lemke. Welcome to Weather Center. Well, the calendar says spring, but it feels more like winter across the northeast. And that's due to a storm system that's producing freezing rain, sleet, and snow. Our latest satellite picture shows us the storm system that's twirling and swirling through the northeast. The main low right now poised over West Virginia, and it continues to produce a variety of weather conditions. We've had locally heavy rain sweeping across Pennsylvania and New Jersey. Right now, some heavy downpours, though, around the New York City metro area, mixing with some sleet. There's been more ice and snow, too, farther to the north, and more snow back through the Ohio Valley. Well, Syracuse, New York, you folks could pick up 6 to 8 inches of snow before the day is over. And that's where the Weather Channel's Kristen Dodd is monitoring the situation as it continues to unfold. Well, Kristen, I was just checking the latest observation. It says moderate snow for Syracuse and about a half-a-mile visibility. What's the latest from your end?
Well, we're on the west side of Syracuse, Cheryl, and I would say that right now we're getting moderate to at least heavy snowfall. It really has been coming down in a very, very short period of time. At 6 o'clock this morning, we just had light rain, and just in the matter of a couple of hours, we are already seeing over a half-inch of snow on the ground. You can see here, it's a very heavy and very wet snow. Good for making the snowballs, but not too good on the roadways, to say the least. We are seeing a lot of slick spots. Now take a look behind me. You mentioned a half-mile visibility. We're standing just a ways off from the Carousel Center Mall, and you can barely even make out the white building behind us. So that visibility is definitely a big problem out on the roads. Oh, Randy, pan over right here. We have a gentleman who just had an accident on the roadways. This is a great indication of exactly how dangerous it is here on the interstates. We're along Interstate 81. Fortunately, it looks like this gentleman is okay, not too much damage to his car. But folks, if you are going to be heading out today, please take it easy. We have not seen too many plows on the roads, and so they're having a hard time keeping this snow cleared off. And we're going to continue to see problems just like what this gentleman had today. Throughout the day, the snow is going to continue all the way through midnight. Back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Kristen. Well, as Kristen was reminding us, please be extra careful on the roadways throughout the entire Northeast. You may see the heavier snows, you may have some sleet, and in some places, a lot of heavy rain coming down today, so some very treacherous conditions and very wet highways and byways. Speaking of wet, well, the rain's been coming down almost nonstop this morning around the New York City metro area. Still reports of moderate to occasionally heavy rain around LaGuardia, the heavier rain pressing over towards Long Island, and some of this is interspersed with some sleet, as is the case this morning for Islip and LaGuardia. Even on into White Plains, New York, you have some rain mixing with that sleet, too. We'll likely see the snow, though, locally heavy across the eastern Finger Lakes, as is where Kristen already is around Syracuse. And right now, heavy snow coming down for Buffalo, and more snow, too, curling in through the Ohio Valley. And on closer inspection, we see the snow widespread for Cleveland, Columbus, Toledo. Up towards Detroit, you folks, too, have some snow this morning. So as you're heading off to the grocery stores or the shopping malls, be really careful with those snow-packed conditions. In the Northeast, a variety of weather. Locally heavy rains causing some flood watches. The ice, though, across southern sections of New England. And right now, we have winter advisories out for those of you in the Boston metro area. And again, threats of locally heavy snows, though, across interior sections of the Northeast. The good news with all this, though, great conditions for the ski slopes with lots of fresh powder coming down throughout the afternoon. Now let's check out the weather elsewhere. Here's Bruce.
Thank you, Cheryl. Well, it's going to be a cool, chilly day in several areas of the country, mainly in the southeast, the plains, and the Ohio Valley. And yesterday gave us a hint of what was to come as we checked the plains out. You can see the below normal high temperatures across the nation's heartland. Temperatures anywhere from 20 to 25 degrees colder than they normally should be for this time of year, especially from Arkansas through the lower Mississippi River Valley. It was warmer than normal in the west, but again, this is a harbinger of things to come, and things generally moving west to east as cold air is going to be moving east as well. We've got the storm Cheryl described here with the snow and the rain. High pressure over the plains and the Rockies keeping it very quiet, but the combination of two is going to still usher in some cold air and some blustery conditions. Temperatures right now over much of the deep south, you see all the negative numbers. This is how they've changed in the last 24 hours. The temperature right now, for example, in Atlanta is 16 degrees colder than it was at this time yesterday. 15 degrees colder in Cincinnati, 10 degrees colder in Nashville, 9 degrees colder than Tampa, Florida, where it's 58 right now. A chilly start here by Tampa standards. standards. 67 in Miami is not bad, but you see 37 in Atlanta and Birmingham, 39 in Little Rock, below freezing in Oklahoma City, Dallas at a chilly 35, Houston 38. Wind chill values now, how do they feel? Well, there's a little wind in Atlanta. It feels like 14, just above freezing in Panama City, and in New Orleans, 26, the wind chill in Birmingham, 21 Oklahoma City. Now, in and of themselves, the temperatures aren't bad here over the Plains states, 20s and 30s, but again, winds come into factor. Cleveland's wind chill factor now is 8 degrees, Flint is 6, Marquette is 3, Chicago is 14, 16 St. Louis, freezing in Boston, 35 in New York. Wind chill value, though, is 5 in Boston, 6 in New York, so it's cold. It should be like this time of the year, the first part of spring, but not today. It's going to be much colder than normal, and tomorrow morning we should see 40s in the south, 30s in the Ohio Valley. We'll see 20s here, 30s down into Florida. That's not what the doctor